Hi, everybody. It's time to get into the spooky Halloween type mood. So let's do a wardrobe change. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the spooky edition of Country Music Time Machine. Right now, in time for Halloween, or whatever spooky reason we can think of. We're covering some of the spookiest songs in country music history. And no, I don't think I can keep up that stupid accent I'm trying to pull off here for much longer. Yes, I'm Kevin. I'm decked out in this $25 Halloween costume from Amazon. And yes, I am practicing my Second Amendment rights with my two revolvers right here. Of course, they're not, they're real microphones. They're not real guns. So I'm not usually in danger of hurting myself, except when I go to karaoke and attempt to sing and people start throwing things at me, and then I could get hurt. You know, there are many themes in country music, and occasionally, country artists cross that line into spooky songs. The first song we will take a look at is one from the legend Hank Williams. Many country songs have been written about old Hank, and many of them are spooky. This is a spooky one from Hank himself. Howlin' at the Moon was released back in 1951 and peaked at number 3 on the country chart. This song tells the story of old Frank. This song tells the story of old Hank. Who the heck is Frank? Going so crazy about his lady love that he turns into a werewolf, walking on all fours, chasing rabbits, trying to eat a steak with a spoon, and even trying to fill up his horse with gas. Let's howl a little with Hank Williams.
I know there's never been a man in the awful shape I'm in. I can't even spell my name, my head's in such a spin. Today I tried to eat a steak with a big old tablespoon. You got me chasing rabbits, walking on my hands and howling at the moon. Well, sugar, I took one look at you and it almost drove me mad. And then I even went and lost what little sense I had. Now I can't tell the day from night, I'm crazy as a loon. You got me chasing rabbits, pulling out my hair and howling at the moon.
Now let's head back to 1983 with the great sound of John Anderson. Now this is a perfect spooky song. It's got plenty of 50s rockabilly sound as well. Let's check out John Anderson's Haunted House.
I just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. Bells started ringing and chains was rattling loud. I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up my mind to stay, and nothing was gonna drive me away. Till I seen something that gave me the creeps. It had one big eye and 2 big feet. I stood right still and I did the freeze, and it did stroll right up to me. Made a noise with his feet that sounded like a drum. I said, don't you be here when the morning comes. Say if I be here when the morning comes, I'll be right here and I ain't gonna run. Cause I bought this house, now you know I'm boss. And ain't no ain't gonna run me off.
A lot of spooky country songs are about ghosts, and not all of them are about the ghost of Hank Williams, but a bunch of them are. Ghost Riders in the Sky was written by Stan Jones and has been recorded by everyone from Burl Ives, yes, watched him a lot during Christmas, to Bing Crosby. But the version that is the best one came from Johnny Cash.
An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day. Up on a ridge he rested as he went along his way, when all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw, plowing through the ragged sky and up a cloudy draw. Their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky, for he saw the riders coming hard, and he heard their mournful cry. Yippee-yi-oh, yippee-yi-ay, ghost riders in the sky.
Yes, ghosts are a major theme in spooky country music, and the ghost of the great Hank Williams haunts many a country song. Let's talk about two of them right now. The first one comes from the legend David Allan Coe, probably my favorite Hank Williams ghost song. I met David many years ago, and he does have the ability to get really spooky with his songs. He has an amazing and soulful voice, and in 1983, he released an incredible song. It's called The Ride. The lyrics, the music, and the voice are amazing. Catching a ride from Hank Williams, here is David Allan Coe.
Well, I was thumbing from Montgomery. I had my guitar on my back, when a stranger stopped beside me in an antique Cadillac. He was dressed like 1950, half drunk and hollow-eyed. Says a long walk to Nashville, would you like to ride? Well, I sat down in the front seat, turned on the radio. Them sad old songs coming out of them speakers was solid country gold. Then I noticed the stranger was ghost white pale when I asked him for a light. I knew there was something strange about this ride. He said, Drifter, can you make folks cry when your plane sings? Have you paid your dues? Can you moan the blues? Can you bend them guitar strings? Boy, can you make folks feel what you feel inside? If you're big star bound, let me warn you, it's a long, hard ride.
And here's another Hank Williams ghost song. This one comes from Alan Jackson. In this song, Alan runs into the ghost of Hank Williams at the grave of the country legend in Montgomery, Alabama. It made it up to number 3 on the chart. It's called Midnight in Montgomery.
Midnight in Montgomery, Silver Eagle, lonely road. Was on my way to Mobile for a big New Year's Eve show. I stopped for just a minute, see a friend outside of town. With my collar up, I found his name and felt the wind die down. And a drunk man in a cowboy hat took me by surprise, wearing shiny boots, a nudie suit, and haunted eyes. He said, friend, it's good to see you. It's nice to know you care. Then the wind picked up, he was gone. Was he ever really there? 'Cause it's midnight in Montgomery. Just hear that whippoorwill, see the stars light up the purple sky, feel that lonesome chill. 'Cause when the wind is right, you'll hear his song, smell whiskey in the air. Midnight in Montgomery, he's always singing there.
The next spooky song on this episode was written by Shel Silverstein, and he wrote a lot of good songs, and recorded by Bobby Bare. This specific song was mentioned many times in the comment section for our Crazy Country Song series. It could easily fit on the Crazy Country Song series, but it fits perfectly for spooky country songs. Yes, a song about a witch with a bent, bony body and stringy hair who lived in a hollowed-out log in Louisiana, in the swamp there. is a great spooky song. Here is Marie Lavo.
Down in Louisiana where the black trees grow, lives a voodoo lady named Marie Lavo. Got a black cat too, a mojo bone. Anyone who would leave her alone, she goes. Another man done gone. She lived in a swamp in a hollow log with a one-eyed snake, a three-legged dog. He got a bent, bony body, strange hair. And if she ever seen y'all mess around there, she goes. Another man done gone. And then one night when the moon was black, into the swamp come Handsome Jack. No good man like you all know, looking around for Marie Laveau. He said, Marie Laveau, you lonely witch, give me a little charm that'll make me rich. Give me $1,000,000, I'll tell you what I'll do. This very night I'm gonna marry you, and it'll be another man done gone.
While there are many country songs that can be considered spooky, some are also funny or at least upbeat. When I was a boy, I just loved Buck Owens, and in 1974, he released the perfect spooky song. It's called It's a Monster Holiday, and it's all about old Buck escaping those crazy monsters.
Frankenstein was the first in line, and the Wolfman came up next. Dracula was a-doing his stuff, breathing down my neck. Jump back, make tracks, here comes the hunchback, better get out of his way. Beep, beep, bye, bye, full vomit was a monster's holiday. Well, I hopped into bed and I covered up my head, said I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. I got woke up about 12 o'clock and I jumped right to my feet. There was gremlins and goblins, dragons and zombies. Lordy, what an awful sight. I said, good buddy, you may get me, but brother, let me tell you that it's gonna be after the fight. Frankenstein was the first in line, and the Wolfman came up next. Dracula was a-doing his stuff, breathing down my neck. Jump back, make tracks, here comes the hunchback, better get out of his way. Beep, beep, bye, bye, full vomit was a monster's holiday.
And finally, the last song on our spooky songs list is one of my favorites. In 1980, Charlie Daniels was searching for a great follow-up hit to The Devil Went Down to Georgia, which was a historic song. He used his own personal experiences of a swamp in Bladen County, North Carolina, for the inspiration of this rockin' country tune. Here is CDB with The Legend of Willie Swamp.
If you ever go back into Woody Swamp, well, you better not go at night. There's things out there in the middle of the woods that make a strong man die for pride. Things that crawl, things that fly, things that creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of Lucius Clay gets up and he walks around. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I never would have listened to nobody else, and I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and there's some things in this world you just can't explain. Hey, the old man lived in the Woolly Swamp way back in Booger Woods, and he never did do a lot of harm in the world, but he never did do no good. People didn't think too much of him, they all thought he acted funny. Old man didn't care about people anyway, all he cared about was his money. And he stuck it all down into mason jars and bury it all around. And on certain nights, if the moon was right, he'd dig it up out of the ground. And then he'd pour it all out on the floor of his shack and run his fingers through it. Yeah, Lucius Clay was a greedy old man, that's all that there was to it. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't things in this world you just can't explain.
Well, that's all we got for you on the Country Music Time Machine. This is your old cowboy, or pretending to be your old cowboy, Kevin. Hope you had a good time with these spooky songs. If you've got some spooky songs on your mind, pop them in the list down below. We'll talk about it, figure out what we think is the best spooky country song. So until next time, let's keep it country, let's keep it spooky, right here on the Country Music Time Machine.